Hello, gorgeous people. Welcome to 2026. This is the first official live stream of 2026. A whole new year has begun, and I am all about it. I hope you had the most restful holidays with your families or an introspective time. This is going to be one heck of a year. I feel it in my bones. So we have some important things today. First of all, we have some draws because we completed the finish line masterclass. That was so much fun. And we had some people to draw. So we have some Alpha Bucks to draw. We've got some notebooks to draw. It's going to be a great time. Alpha Fem team, if you have a moment to just send an email to everyone, just to let them know that we're live and give them the link to the live stream so that they know how to find us. And because this is our first live stream of the year, I have things. I have things that I want to share with you. So my team will keep gathering shares while we're live. If while we're live you feel like this would be good for someone and it's worth sharing, please share. Let me know in the comment section if you have shared. That way my team can grab the shares. And we're going to do 2 draws at the beginning and 1 draw at the end of the live stream. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk to you about before we even jump into the draws for a moment here is what's the point? What's the point of letting ourselves feel the beginning? What's the point of having the ritual of a new year and to really dive into it and say, okay, this is new. This is a new year. How do I want to live this? How do I want to be this year? And I think the biggest thing I've discovered for myself is that when time is limited, there's like another kind of care. When you know all you've got is today, when you know all you've got is the weekend, when you know it's an important period of time, it's not forever, it lasts a moment. When we have these moments that we can tell the energy is alive for a certain amount of time and we go all in during those amounts of time, something happens. When we look at like all of my life, if you were to say, I want to be this for all of my life, it's a lot harder than to say, I want to be this for the weekend. When there is a determined period of time, we tend to be able to conceptualize it and make different kinds of choices. Whereas when things are like, it's the way that it's got to be forever, we have all these existential thoughts about it. And it feels like we could do it tomorrow forever. We talked about that during the Finish Line Masterclass. Okay, I'm seeing that this is actually being live streamed now. Let me have a look and see who is on today. Lara, thank you so much for sharing. Francis, thank you so much for sharing. Magdalena, thank you so much for being on live. Hello, hello. Monica, hello. Carolyn is here. Hello, beautiful. April has shared. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Shared Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you so much, Deanna. And Kevin is here, hearting all the way. Mary, thank you so much for sharing. Awesome. So, why is it that we kind of do better when we have context, when we have periods of time that are like, this is going to be my focus for this amount of time? I don't know why. But I've just found that that's just the way most people do best. And so this is why I've created my business the way I've created my business, because I could have totally done a package that was like, okay, it's a year with me and I'm going to talk about whatever it is that I want to talk about. Because I lead people in life, in business, in relationships. Like I cover all the topics to have an extraordinary life, because that's really what Alpha Femme is about. It's she who leads herself. It's showing up in this world, creating your life. And I don't think that there's one part that doesn't deserve the same amount of creation. So whether you're creating wealth and abundance or well-being and health, or whether you're creating love and relationship or just yourself, your self-concept, your identity, your courage, your confidence, like everything matters. So I could very easily, let's say when I'm talking about my Alpha Femme experience, which is my year-long experience, I could just say, we're going to talk about everything. Just come in and we'll do a kind of call every month or every week and it'll talk about something different. But what I really found is that what makes people change the most is to have little pockets of information, little pockets of focus in their lives. So I run programs within the Alpha Femme experience. It's like, this is going to be the focus of this month. This is going to be the focus of this month. This is going to be the focus of this month. And what it does is that over the course of a year, you end up being able to work on so many more aspects of yourself during 1 year because it's easier to say, look, for the next 2 weeks, I'm going all in on this part of me. It's not like for the rest of the year, I don't care about this part. It's just that it's not really possible to focus 100% on every single part of yourself all year long, forever, for the rest of your life. So, what I found is if you have a year with a certain angle, there's a context for the year. And then inside of that year, there are contexts that you really dive into with all of your heart. You, by the end of the year, can have become exponentially more connected in your relationship, in your business, to your wealth, to your abundance, to your well-being, because of little pockets of intentionality that you've put in throughout the year. If you think about it, when we got to the end of the year, you look back in hindsight, you thought about, did I spend quality time with my family? You probably weren't thinking about every day. You probably had these intentional moments, a holiday, a getaway, a special dinner, something that happened where you're like, that was a really intentional time. You would measure whether your year was successful at something based on things that happened in focused energy. You might also say, like, oh, how was my relationship? And you might think about this one trip you took. Or you might think about this one season, like, oh, it was a really great summer. Like, there's an intentionality there. So when we do little pockets like that, we tend to compound the results. Because what I really love is the realization that when I change one thing, it gives me this belief, like, if I can change this, I can change that. If I can increase this, I can increase that. If I can do better here, I can do better there. All I need is the same kind of focus. All I need is the same kind of context, and I can do it. And so 2026 itself has a context. It's different than 2025. And what I've found is that what makes people really happy in life, because this is a big part of what I do and why I care about doing what I do, is not just to make get people are successful, but to make sure that people are satisfied, that they are living lives where they're like, I love my life. They're living lives where they're like, I am so happy. Because I'll tell you from my own self, when I meet an adult and they tell me about their successes, but I don't feel that they are happy, I don't necessarily applaud that. If I meet a person I haven't seen in a while, I'm like, how are you? And they're like, oh, things have been intense, been big. Like, oh, good, big. Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, we're really successful. We're doing a lot of successful things, but I'm exhausted and, life's hard and I feel old and times are rough and but we're really successful. That doesn't light me up. Like, what lights me up is to speak to someone and, like, how are you? And, like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Really? Why? What's been going on? Like, I just feel so good. Things with my kids have been going so well. My husband and I have been together for, X amount of years and we're doing so well. And we had these incredible memories this year and we were able to do this and I did this and I feel so good and I feel so happy. Like that, I want to talk to that person forever. And so I realized that that's the kind of success that I care about co-creating on this planet. One that is coupled with like life happiness metrics. It's not just success metrics, it's satisfaction. I am successful and I am happy. And that together is like, this is worth it. I'm satisfied. So when you look at the years, one of the things that creates people to not be happy and to constantly be stressed is that they try to do everything. They try to do everything in a year and they start the beginning of a new year, not with a context, but with a like, how much can I do in a year? Without necessarily considering, will it make me happier? Without necessarily considering, will I feel satisfied by this? Is this what I want? It's like, this is what I should do. This is how old I am. This is where I should be by now. This is what should happen. What do I need to do to make that happen? And you start your year already with this like stress of like, how much are you going to do? And this is why I truly believe that normally resolutions don't really work because they're just a list of things you think you should do that if you manage to cross off, you'll be successful. But it doesn't take satisfaction into consideration. What I really care about with my people, my clients, my work is that people are successful, but that success does not cost them anything. As a matter of fact, it amplifies their experience of being alive. They're like, the first reaction, the first response when someone asks them how they're doing first is like, I feel so good. I feel like I'm a whole new person. I am doing so well. I'm so excited for life. I've got projects. Like they are alive. And then on top of that, then we build success from within that. That's that's the magic. And I'm loving all these stars. Thank you so much for the stars, Dana. I appreciate them so much. And we've got new people who've popped on in the moment. Satisfaction is the vibe. I agree. Live en fait, Julie. Bonjour, bonjour. Hello, Don, coming in from Mexico. I want a happy life. Yes. You do. Just the whole point. Hello, hello from Thailand. Oh my gosh, Happy New Year, Cheryl. Hello, Monica. Hello, hello from Switzerland. Oh my gosh, Antonina, thank you for being here. I've been in your world for years and each year becoming deeper and richer in all of my relationships, especially around motherhood. Ingrid, it makes me so happy to see that. Hello, Silke. So good to see you. One small focus at a time. Hello from Texas. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Good morning. Good morning. Those are my favorite conversations too. Peace in my heart with my inner nucleus. Ooh, I love that. So true. Such a difference in energy, right? Leela, so big. So happy to see you live. Hi from Montreal. Christine, so good to see you. Hello, Jen. Hello, hello, hello. Rachel, so good to see you. Hello, Tandy. No self-sacrifice. I love you too. Thank you for being here. Hello from Israel. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Hello, Ilona. So good to see you. Feliz Año Nuevo from Mexico. Baja California Sur. Very cool. Hello, hello, hello. Hello from Thailand. Oh my goodness, Thailand. What a life. Thank you for the stars. Hello from Belgium. Okay, so here's the thing. When you're looking at your life, if the way that you interact with it is what's going to make me successful so that I can be happy, it feels like you're running after something that's constantly moving. So my visual of this is like, let's say, for example, you're a donkey and someone has attached a stick with a dangling carrot in front of you and you're walking and the carrot's always moving. But the thing is, the carrot is attached to you, but you think you need to catch it. And so you are walking towards the carrot, but the carrot's attached to you. This is what chasing happiness looks like to me. Looks like people who are donkeys chasing carrots, walking to try to get the carrot that's attached to their back. Because happiness is not something that you find inside creating things, like going to get something. Happiness to me is the context in which you build and you create things from inside of it. So instead of the donkey thinking I'll be happy when I eat the carrot, it's about the donkey realizing the carrot's attached to its back, eating the carrot, thinking happy thoughts, being happy while eating the carrot. We don't want to constantly be chasing happiness. We want to be building with the happiness. Happiness metrics, life happiness metrics, such an important piece of the puzzle. So when you look at your year, when I look at my year, I look at years differently. I don't see it like, okay, my goal for 2026 is to do everything I did in 2025 plus everything of 2026. I see it like a lot of the things I did in 2026 still belong to me in 20, or a lot of the things I did in 2025 still belong to me in 2026. I get to still feel those things. I don't need to do them again. A lot of times people just duplicate, replicate the same things over and over and over again. You went there, you liked it, you go again. You did that, you liked it, you do it again. You like that, you do it, you like it, you do it again. Instead of remembering some of the things that you did, keeping those as part of your life, your joy, not needing to relive them necessarily again, remembering them, looking at pictures, talking about them, doing something new, talking about something amazing you did last year, making new memories that include last year's, really building a fuller life instead of just kind of chasing a joy you may have felt last year. And so you may have a context for this year, a vibe for this year that's very different than last year's. Maybe last year you had a lot of material success. And this year, although you're very excited about your material success, what you really want is to have meaningful family time around that material success. Instead of, you want to have a lot of family time, but you want to have material success around that family time. It just shifts the focus a little bit. And what I feel when we do that is every year has an angle. And you're not just doing the same thing forever and eventually realizing that your whole life was one note. When I look, like I've had years that my relationship was at the forefront of the entire year. I've had years where my family has been at the forefront of the entire year. I've had years where Alpha Femme was at the forefront of the entire year. I've had years where my self-care was at the forefront of the entire year. I've had years where the God zone was at the forefront of my entire year. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm completely led by whatever's coming. You can have 2 years in a row with the same context, but it's not thinking like every single year that passes, you're supposed to be better in a sense of like everything that was good about you last year, plus everything about you that's good this year, because eventually we run out of space, we run out of time. And so, what I love to do is to look at last year and realize like what are some of the things that have permanently changed about me that I can tell are totally integrated. I don't even need to think about them this year. Versus what are some of the things this year that I'm feeling like I really didn't focus on that last year and I would love for that to be a focus this year. And then are there things from last year where I'm like I really like that and I want more of that this year. And I intentionally create my year this way, not just to be successful. You'd be so surprised. Like, even when you're the most successful person in the room, people don't care about your success as much as they care about your joy, unless they think there's something they can take from your success. People want to see happy people, like genuinely alive people, more than they care about anything else. This is why a lot of people say, like, it's lonely. When you're successful, it's lonely. It's like, yeah, because nobody cares about, like, oh, I'm rich and a little miserable, but here's everything I have. And yeah, it's like, there's something else that people want to care about. If you're all happy and on top of that, you've achieved major success, then people celebrate with you. That's a lot of fun. That's the vision. So we're going to kick off with our draw. We have a couple of draws today. The first one we're going to do is a $222 draw. The next one is a $555 draw. And then at the end of the live stream, there's going to be a last and final draw for 2,222 in Alpha Bucks. So this is Alpha Femme money that you can use towards any Alpha Femme program. And for every winner, you're also going to get a beautiful Alpha Femme notebook. You can actually buy these directly on the Alpha Femme website, or you could maybe manifest one today. We'll see what happens. These are so beautiful, and they always get filled for me all year. I do all my beautiful things in my notebooks. It says Alpha Femme. So this one says, Alpha, 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 lead yourself, and the world responds. And on the back, it says, Alpha Femme, may your life unfold in the most beautiful way on these pages. Love always, Melanie Amler. So if you share at the end of this live stream, we're going to also draw someone for $2,222 in Alpha Bucks. So Alpha Femme team, when you are ready, I would love to draw. So this was from the Finish Line Masterclass that was hosted on my personal page. It is now gone. It is now gone and it's hosted only in the Alpha Femme movement. The movement is my membership and it's $222 a month, or you can pay in full for a year, 2,222. Then you get a bonus program and you get $400 off the year. Now, what's awesome with this membership, and I think it really is so important to know, when you're investing every month, $222, as long as you're active in the membership, that $222 gives you $111 credit. And so you're able to use that $111 either to bank, to put towards something bigger, or you can just put it towards other little things or bigger programs when you feel like it. So you're accumulating Alpha Femme dollars, Alpha Bucks every month. If you pay in full, you get $1,111 in Alpha Femme money right away. And so right now, the movement's an incredible place to be in because let's say, for example, right now, Resolution Revolution, which is the New Year's program that's going to start on the 7th. If you are in the movement, it only costs you 1,111 to be in Resolution Revolution. So you could use your $1,111 credit to purchase it. So you buy the movement for 2,222, you get a $1,111 credit, you use it directly towards Resolution Revolution, and until tomorrow at 5 p.m. when you buy Resolution Revolution, you receive I Am the One as a bonus gift from me as well. So this is like one move for 2,222 that starts your year in the most epic way. If not, just being in the movement itself is an incredible place to be. There's thousands of dollars with the courses in there. It's absolutely unbelievable. The community is amazing. It's all my Alpha Femme community, my AFE, House of Oat, and all the women in the movement. And it's $222 a month. You can cancel anytime. So you can stay there and go pay as you go if you want. The community is extraordinary. All the things in there are extraordinary. Or you pay in full for the year, and then magic happens as well. Just kind of decide what feels best. Jane says, can you explain the difference between the movement and the program that you're talking about and the resolution revolution? So I'll give you just kind of an idea here before we draw this. Um, the way I see personal development is that it's not about one course and information, not in the way that I do it anyway. It's more about continued evolution. That's what it is. So when I look at myself and I look at like how am I able to lead $100 million company at this point? How am I able to just produce millions of dollars like this? Like how can I do that when I literally just a few years ago was living in the front seat of a Honda Civic, completely bankrupt. My whole life was falling apart. I don't have a high school education. Like how did I do that? Because normally, even when a full grown-up talks about their qualifications, they'll talk about their education. They'll say, I graduated this school with honors, or I have this degree or that degree. We talk about our education. I don't have one. And so this was always a big thing for me. I had a lot of like, there was a stigma even in my family around not having this education. I felt really not very adequate because of that. But what I chose to do is to continue to develop myself as a person. And so, although I don't have the like traditional school education, the things I continued to educate myself in were like patience, language, expression, communication, leadership, emotional intelligence, nervous system regulation, manifestation, networking, collaborations, wealth creation, wealth expansion. I started not just deciding like who I am is my education, but it was more like where can I become even greater than I am in whatever area. And so as I have evolved every year, things have happened that are out of this world, but I'm not banking on my education. I'm not banking on who I was. I'm not banking on what I was given to create. I'm constantly evolving who I am as a person. I'm constantly learning, pivoting, changing, growing, evolving, learning, shaping. I'm constantly thinking at a higher level of thought than I used to think. I'm thinking in a creation kind of way. I'm forgiving faster. I'm opening myself up to new possibilities. I'm using the education that I'm creating, the education that I'm a part of now to shape my future instead of just relying on it and say, well, because I've graduated this, I should be able to do that. Constantly growing. So for me, a program on its own, although can do incredible things, is like if you said, I'm doing a, a 2 week fitness challenge at my gym. It's like those are awesome. They'll kickstart you, they'll get you motivated, it'll get you results in 2 weeks, which might make you want to move even more. But ideally, if you're explaining to me that your fitness is your priority, I wouldn't expect you to just do a 2 week fitness program in your entire year and call it a day. I would expect that the fitness program is an amplifier of your plan for the year, right? So the way I see personal development is that it's not meant to be like, oh, I took this program and now I never need to do anything ever again. Jim Rohn said, personal development is like bathing. It's recommended daily. And I really believe that. I feel like it's the thing you do every day. You eat every day to fuel your body, you move every day to fuel your body, you do some sort of personal development to fuel your mind. So I am completely enrolled in this energy all year. And there's different angles, different parts of me that I'm working on every month. And I'm not doing this from a place of like, I'm not good enough and I need help, which is, I think, the stigma around personal development is that if you're taking personal development, you don't think you're good enough and you need help. It's like you don't go to the gym because you're not good enough and you need help. You take care of your body in order to become stronger, in order to stay strong, in order for your muscles to do well, for youth, for vitality. It's the same thing for me. In in being in personal development, in a context in my mind all the time, I feel more vitality. I feel younger. I feel like the best is yet to come. I feel like I'm doing things I've never done before. I'm learning things I've never learned before. I'm looking at life with a new way. I'm excited about life. I'm looking at life in a way that lights me up. I'm constantly seeing new things, celebrating. Like it's who I am is amplified by the way I look at the world. So I've created three different experiences in the Alpha Femme world. The first one is called the movement. And the way I see the movement is it's like a trampoline. It's the one where you come in at first and you're like, look, let me see what it would do for me to just have personal development be a part of my life. Let me learn concepts like charisma. Let me learn concepts like responsibility. Let me dive into energetics manifestation. Let me learn a little more about, this and that. Let me hear women talk about money. Let me focus on the energetics. Let me do activations and visualizations. Like this is what the kinds of things that happen inside of this movement. And so it's more like being connected to the community, being connected to this constant evolution. And the opportunities that I see for the movement is that, again, it's a trampoline, it's a stepping stone. So when you join the movement, if you pay for a year, because this is the best deal, I think, if you're going to be in the movement, you have this $2,222 investment that you've made. And at any point during the year, if it feels like, you know what, I want to do the Alpha Femme experience, which is my work of art of my life, you get to use the whole 2,222 to upgrade into the Alpha Femme experience at any point during the year, which I think is like the coolest thing of all times. And so when you are in the movement, you know you've invested in yourself. You've got a credit to purchase something else if you want. You're in the community for a year. You've got access to all the things that are already there, plus all the new material that gets added. There's often things I'll put during the year that are like, this is free for the people in the movement, or there's bonuses in the movement, or it's less expensive for people in the movement, like Resolution Revolution. There's all kinds of perks for being in there. And the idea is that you're building your identity, you're building your self-concept, you're really in the conversation without too much of the investment part. Because it's $222 a month and you can cancel anytime, or 2,222 for the year. All these perks, and you can upgrade the whole thing into the Alpha Femme experience when you're ready. Like it's such a cool move. And what I love is to have a diverse tapestry, a rich tapestry of people that are all together, equal power but different. The bravest person in the room and the most advanced person in the room, because those energies help each other. A lot of times, the most advanced person in the room has started to cripple under the weight of fear and hasn't been brave in a really long time. Whereas the person who is brand new hasn't yet created the success, but is the bravest person in the room. And the courage from the bravest person in the room affects the most successful person in the room. And the most successful in the room affects the bravest in the room. And there's this beautiful equal power, but different energy that starts to create itself. So that's what the movement is. The second thing I've created is the Alpha Femme experience. Now, this was my first ever offer that I made that was like a long-term offer. And it has been the most incredible project of my life because everything I build for the Alpha Femme experience. The idea, and some women come into the Alpha Femme experience, some people come into the Alpha Femme experience wanting to work on themselves. And they are excited for the Femme Fatale program. They're excited for God Zone. They're excited for identity work and Alpha to Alpha. They're excited for the leadership work. They're excited for the manifestation. They're excited for all the things that are human based. They don't even have a business, but they love hearing about Exponential Wealth because Exponential Wealth is a money program, or House of Prosperity, which is a money program. It's not necessarily they have to have a business to benefit from it. And then I also have people who come into the Alpha Femme experience understanding the value because they've got a business. And so they care also about Impact Academy, which is my social media program, and the art of sales, and also the art of leadership, Femme Fatale, Exponential Wealth. It's all about money, leadership, social media, selling, marketing. Like, how do we really become the one? And so it's an entire year. But the idea is kind of what I said at the beginning of this live stream. You're doing it, but you're not doing it in order to say, oh, I'm going to take a year and then I'll be done. It's like you do it because it's like, what could happen to my life in a year if I'm constantly activating these pockets of focused energy on things that are really important in my life? And so all the programs are included. All the programs that I run on a yearly basis are included in the Alpha Femme experience. So it's, for example, the Resolution Revolution is in the Alpha Femme experience, and I Am the One is in the Alpha Femme experience, the God Zone, and Femme Fatale, and Impact Academy, and like everything is included. And so whenever there's a program running live, you're a part of it. There's no question. It's just a really fun place to be in because you're building yourself, you're building your entrepreneurial spirit, or you're building your business, and you have access to all the tools and you're focusing on certain things throughout the year. Plus, you have your own self-focus, but it's just an abundant place to learn. And so for me, the ideal is that every person, every woman would be in the Alpha Femme experience for the community, for their own self journey, and for the access to all the incredible information and magic that there is and all the transformational containers and all the programs and all the angles and all the things. And then the last thing I've created is the House of Oat Mastermind. And that is for women who've really already created something and they're scaling it. So they already have something that's running, but they know this will be amplified by their leadership, by their influence. This is really more about their faith, their relationship to Mother Nature, God, the universe, their ability to hold capacity because they already know what to do. But the thing that stops them is how they're feeling, what they're fearing, trying to like control things a little bit, like trying to avoid things. They come into this space in order to have their spirit expanded. And it includes the Alpha Femme experience. So House of Oat is a $25,000 a year mastermind. It includes the Alpha Femme experience and it includes the movement. The Alpha Femme experience is a $15,000 offer. It includes all of my programs and it's worth like almost 3 times the price if you took all the programs separately. And so you can do that one, and that one includes the movement. Or there's the movement, which you either pay $222 a month, and the two others also can be on monthly installments. So House of Oat is $2,500 a month. Alpha Femme Experience is $15,555 per month, and the movement $222 a month. So those are my ideal case scenarios. This is what I would prefer for the world to not just take the 2-week fitness package at the gym, but to actually have this like I am in. I'm there. This is a year of well-being, so I'm going to go often and I have a membership there because I'm constantly going. Like that's what I would prefer is that people come into Alpha Femme saying, "I'm in. What are we talking about now? What's my focus now? Where can I go deeper into this conversation and what are you bringing this month?" And like that's my preference. But I know that's not possible or accessible for everyone. So instead of making it that you can only join House of Oat, AFE, or the movement, sometimes the programs that are inside become available. So, for example, Resolution Revolution, I could say it's only available for people in Alpha Femme experience. So the only way to do Resolution Revolution is to come pay 15,555 or 1,555 a month to be in the Alpha Femme experience, then you'll get Resolution Revolution. I could do that. But what I found is that having people start their year with me in this context and saying, I want to do January differently this year. Like, I want to do it. I want to create my year. Just that can actually set their year in motion in a really powerful way. In the same way that if you were to have a 2-week body reset at the gym, it might change the way you live the rest of your year. So I offer Resolution Revolution. Outside of the Alpha Femme experience, I make a deal for the people in the movement to make it interesting for them so that they can come also if they want. And the idea of Resolution Revolution is like, let's build the greatest year ever. I know for myself, I would not be the same person if I didn't do this process every year. It's not just setting resolutions. That's not what it is. I literally go and touch all the most important things that matter to me throughout the year. And I create this like interactive plan for myself, one that really touches success and satisfaction, one that really puts my vision on for the rest of the year, one that guides me and it guides me ahead of time. I already start to sprinkle what January, February, March, April, May, June is going to look like. I'm already casting into the future what's coming, and I'm starting to create an energy of creation already throughout the year. I have so many incredible concepts that I bring forward in this program. Money concepts, the money jars that I bring that are just like my twist on something that I learned along my journey that I've been doing ever since. Like money, leadership, emotional intelligence, relationships, communication, like it touches everything and it starts your year like I have a context of who I want to be, not just to be successful, but to be fulfilled. And it's a masterpiece. So Resolution Revolution is the thing you do when you're like, I want to plan my year and I want to go into 2026 with a vision and a plan and the right energy to back it. Like it is such an empowering experience. Now, I am the one is more of an energetic conversation. So I am the one is the mind, body, spirit connection to actually embodying these things and to living by them. Because when we have a plan to eat healthy, for example, it takes a person to back that up. I want to eat healthy, but if I'm presented a donut or chicken and broccoli, kind of want the donut. So I'm the one that has to show up for myself. And if it's constantly this like based on motivation, based on discipline, based on going against myself to do it, that's that runs out eventually. Whereas this I am the one frequency, which is one of the most empowering contexts that I know, really helps you embody yourself. It's identity work at a whole other level. And it's one of my favorite experience, like one of my favorite concepts to experience. And so I did a program called I Am the One a few years ago, but I've deepened the context of I Am the One so much that it deserves a new transmission. So this is completely different from the first time I ever ran I Am the One, very, very different. And when I run something like this, I always give people an opportunity to feel the vibe of it before I go in and explain what it's going to be, because this is going to run on January 26th. So January 26th, 2026 is going to be the start date of I Am the One. What I'm looking for is people who feel the draw to that. There's like a God zone experience when you're like, that's what I'm supposed to work on. And so with Resolution Revolution, I explain all the information. This is what we're going to do. These are the concepts. This is what we work on. This is what it's for. For I Am the One, I try to hold as long as possible that people get to choose that in the God zone. That they're not doing it from a cerebral place of like, oh, I need this program because this is going to teach me blah, blah, blah. It's more like I feel the frequency of this one. This is calling my spirit. Sometimes you look at a movie and you need to read the whole description of the movie and you need to watch the trailer, but then the best bits are in the trailer. And when you're watching the actual movie, you wish you hadn't watched the trailer. Other times you just see it and you're like, I want to watch that. And I don't want to watch the trailer because I don't want to spoil anything. That is kind of like I Am the One. You would say, I want to watch that and I don't want to spoil anything. So I don't give information until far later on. And the price is different because of that. Because I always know like faith is required for personal transformation. So you either have faith because of the unknown, so the financial investment is less, but there's faith, or it's the other way around where you have all the information, but the price is higher. So now you have to have faith that it's going to be worth the investment. But I will always make it that the faith is even, either faith in the unknown or faith in the investment. But people who are logical need to know the information. So they need to have faith that the investment is worth what they think, and that's their own journey. And there's people who feel a feeling and go with it. They have to just have the faith that it's worth it. So the price changes, but the faith required is the same. And that's how I help people transform, is that even in the purchasing of something like this, you're making a move for yourself that means something about you. You wouldn't buy something like this if you didn't believe in yourself. You'd say it probably wouldn't work. And that's information for you enough. When you're like, I believe in me and I believe this will change me, there's something about who you believe you are in that moment that actually amplifies you just in the decision. If you're like, well, if I have the right information and I believe it's the right thing for me, then I'll do it. Well, then that's a different kind of faith. Like, you know who you are, you're building based on your own identity. But if you're like, well, this probably won't work for me, well, it probably won't. Because ultimately, the transformation is ours to create. So that's the difference between these containers. Thank you for asking the question. Do you still have AFE? I do still have AFE. AFE is the the one where all the things are included. So either 15,555 for the year in full or 1,555, then you get everything. Elodie says the cost of it is really nothing versus the value you get. I'm so glad I jumped in. I'm so happy to hear that. And like now in the Alpha Femme experience, we also have like every month, sometimes even twice a month, we have us time calls where I get to do live coaching with people that are in there. House of Vote has constant live coaching. And so like I remember not long ago, well, in 2013 or no, let's say 2016, 2015, 2016, I used to charge $1,000 a month for coaching. And it's like the people who used to invest in that, they didn't have businesses. They were investing based on just they wanted a one-on-one coach to do life with, to have more personal power in their relationships. They were investing in me. I had done a fraction of what I'm doing now. And so what I love about the Alpha Femme experience is it anchors in a price of my coaching business of like before even Alpha Femme existed. Like I can be your coach for a price that's so genuine. Like I remember charging 1,000, 1,500 a month to my clients for one-on-one calls once a week. Like you get so much more than my clients used to get back then. So it's such an incredible thing to know that like I'm offering this at this level now. It's incredible. Thank you so much, Cindy. Femme Fatale is in the Alpha Femme experience. Should we be sharing something now? If yes, what? Just this live stream. Okay, so I'm gonna draw now in a moment. Love the movement, love AFE, love you. Thank you. Kevin is loving hard again. This is how he does. Thank you all for sharing. Can't wait for Resolution Revolution. Can't wait for Resolution Revolution. I'm working my way back into the Alpha Femme experience. I miss it so much. Tammy, I love that. I'm so excited. You can hold the programming of modern day education, typical for many starseed oracles. I hear that a lot. I love this about growing with you. It's an evolution of a lifetime. Yes. I love Resolution Revolution. That and Femme Fatale are my two favorite programs. I love hearing that. Hello, Karina. Thank you for sharing. Steps every day, some big, some small. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for sharing. So true about the implied messaging around personal development. Life isn't static, it's constantly moving. And this is my favorite vision for it. It's like when we think about moving in life, we often think about achievements. Like there's the place we'll eventually be. And I know that before I really engaged in building the life of my dreams, this is what I thought. I thought there would be a point where I would just be successful. And I remember when I met Kevin, this is such a funny story, and I've told this a couple of times, but this is so funny. When I first met Kevin, we had a conversation once, like, what would you do if you ever won $1 million, if you ever had $1 million? And Kevin was like, I would buy a house and a car, I would invest the rest, and I would live off the interest for the rest of my life. That is what Kevin said to me when we were talking about what would happen if we won a million or we received $1 million. The concept of money, the concept of success, we didn't really understand it. The reality of the situation is that doing life the way we do it now and being compensated for what we do now, it's so much less about the money than it is about the impact. And so I've often had people who I know probably have the same thoughts as we used to have back then, just like, why are you still working? I've had people ask me, when will it be enough? I'm like, when will what be enough? And they're like, the money. Like, when will you stop trying to make more money? And I'm like, well, the thing is, it's already more than enough. But it's not the money, it's the continued success and growth and evolution. And like, can you imagine if I'm just like, well, I did it, I'm done, I'm complete. My life, that part of my life is just over. Now I just get to spend my time doing nothing and live off nothing, like the investment money. And I did it. What's the point? I don't need more. Like that would take away. What about all the clients I haven't helped yet? What about all the people that are still waiting to one day get into Resolution Revolution that are still got AFE on their vision board? Like what do I do with those people? I'm like, oh, sorry, you missed your chance. I'm going to tan my butt cheeks in San Tropez. Like, what do I do? What about all those people that are working up to this work? I just they don't matter? I don't matter. It doesn't matter. They'll just find somebody else. Like, what about all the vision that I had? That just disappears because I have enough money? Is that what this was about? And so I really contemplated, like, what is life about? Is it really about getting to this point where you have enough and then just stopping? Because we only get 100 years of this if we're lucky. So what is it really about? And I think it's really just about rediscovering yourself in different ways, in different contexts. Who am I when I'm striving for my dream? Who am I when I'm on a winning streak? Who am I when I'm going through difficult times and I'm showing up for myself? Who am I when I'm serving people? Who am I when I have more than I ever thought I could? Who am I when I'm the one? Who am I in all these different contexts of my life? And it's like a mountain with no peak. There is no peak. I walk and I walk and I walk and I think I've gone as high as I can go, and then I pass a cloud and I realize there's a whole bunch more mountain. 1 foot in gratitude for what I've achieved, 1 foot in desire for what's next on the mountain. If I'm just 2 feet in gratitude, I stop climbing the mountain. If I'm just 2 feet in desire, I fall on my butt. 1 foot in gratitude, firmly planted on the ground. 1 foot in desire, lifting towards the next step. Grateful for what I have, who I am, where I have been, what I've learned, and desiring more from life, for the best to still be yet to come, for who I'll be, for the impact I'll make, for the dreams that have yet to come true, for the mission I have yet to accomplish, for and I think that's the way to live a fullest life. That's my experience anyway. Shared on Facebook and Instagram. Shared, shared, shared. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Melanie, I was curious to whom you are turning when you are evolving and needing some kind of help, a coach that is or has been there to support you. I've had different coaches all throughout my journey. I've had one-on-one coaches. I've worked in group programs. I talk about my mentors in group experiences. I've also had the kind of mentors where you have to sign an NDA and you're not allowed to say who's your mentor, which is very interesting kind of thing. But like I've constantly been supported. And at the same time, there's also been phases in my work where I want to do things and I have not been able to find a mentor because I wanted to do something that was so different. So I was more so inspired by different industries. So I found a lot of inspiration outside of the industry that I've built because there came a time where I wanted growth in any single mentor that I would look to didn't offer one-on-one anymore. It was all group experience. There was no more one-on-one. They don't do one-on-one work past a certain level. And so I didn't really want to be in a group experience because I wanted the one-on-one stuff. I already had group experiences galore. It was like I want one-on-one. It was just wasn't available until there were some, but then it's like you have to sign an NDA and you can't say that they were your mentor because they don't want to be liable or have responsibility on what who you are and what you do. And I think a lot of them also don't want to be marketed with like my coach is blah blah blah. Like, some people use people's names to piggyback off of. So I think it's a protection also, which I totally respect. But you'd be surprised at a certain level it becomes a little harder to get what you're looking for. But I've always been inspired by so many people and outside the coaching industry. Like one person that's really, really inspired me in the most recent years is Taylor Swift. I've looked at her for so many things that she's done, and I'm like, gosh, there's been so much genius in the way that she does things. It's also searching for inspiration outside of the coaching industry, but I have wished for mentors one-on-one for so many years, but when you get to a certain point, they just don't do one-on-one mentorship anymore. They'll do 1 hour. Like I can do 1 hour with someone, but to be supported fully by someone who's gone beyond what I've done, that becomes a lot harder. Can I get links for the membership? Yes, Alpha Femme team, if you want to put links for the Alpha Femme membership or for the movement, that would be amazing. The movement energy has enhanced my life in ways I could not even imagine. Oh yeah, okay. A gift to be in your love and frequency is priceless. If I have a question, how's the preferred way to reach the Alpha Femme team? Directly in Messenger, the Alpha Femme team. Just message them. I got everything I didn't know being an AFE and then House of Oat. Samantha, that makes me so happy. I'm so excited for the day I get to join AFE. Sarah, I love that. Hi, Jackie. Okay, let's see. Yes, there are live calls in the movement, Jane. There are a lot of live calls in the movement. House of Oat. House of Oat is my ultimate goal. Oh, Rachel, that's so exciting. Sarah says, me too. See you in there one day. I've already gotten so much out of Alpha Femme experience. I've only been there since mid-November. Char, that makes me so happy. Shared, thank you. Emma, when you finish the program, can you access afterwards lifetime? Some of them are, but not all of them, because I actually did that for a while and people just didn't finish the programs. So this is another interesting thing of why I do little pockets. When I gave people lifetime access, my completion rate for programs cut in half. The highest completion rate I ever had, where I was like destroying industry standards, I used to give people 2 weeks access to a program. It was live. They got to watch it. They had 2 weeks access. That was it. That is when people were actually thriving the most. But I also got a lot of feedback that it was not enough time. And so I adapted, and a lot of programs are now a whole year. But the highest completion rate and the highest success levels my clients ever had was when I offered only 2 weeks for the replays. And I did that in the experiment this year. I ran a thing called the experiment, which was my highest, most powerful container. And that was also limited access. There's something about that. Will you do Art of Leadership again? Oh, yes, this year. I'm doing both. Love AFE. AFE is priceless, but I already know I am the one. What else will you add to it? This would not be the right. I don't think this would be the right one for you, just in the way you wrote that question. It's not when you do personal development work with me, it's not about what you know. Because it's like I know I'm supposed to eat 7 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. That doesn't change who I am. Who I am is the fact that I eat 7 fruits and vegetables in a day. So the work with me is not just about what are you going to do or what are you going to say. It's who am I going to become? And so I have people who are multimillionaires in these containers, skyrocketing their income. People who've been married for 20, 30 years saying that it's their best year they've ever been married. People who have got grown children who say their motherhood has been expanded by programs It's not like they don't know things and I'm just teaching them things, is that the way that I lead the programs amplifies the way they behave with their knowing and amplifies who they are as people. That's why you would join the program. So not just to learn something, to actually become the kind of person who implements what you know. That's how I bought Identity Work as an Invisible Offer and Trust going to go back after this for the next few days. That's amazing. I started with AFE, now I'm in the movement. Incredible. Everything you share is a sacred luxury. I love that. I love that. Okay, Alpha Femme team, it's time to draw. So, first person to draw will be $222. That's our first draw of the day. And you will also win the beautiful Alpha Femme notebook. So, when you get your name drawn, this means that you have $222 in Alpha Femme money that you can use towards anything as an Alpha Femme program or masterclass or course, or you can use it for a month in the movement, which is what I would recommend. Okay, Alpha Femme team, when you are ready, tell us who is our first person to win 2,200. No, not 2,000. My apologies. That's going to be our last one. $222. $222 in Alpha Femme money. And I'll just pop out and pop back in because it looks like this is frozen for me. Drum roll. Emma Jane Kehayas. Emma Jane, congratulations. You win $222 in Alpha Femme money. And so you can do whatever your heart desires. You can either put it towards a program, you can join the movement for a month, whatever or it could also be a really cool thing. Right now, I Am the One is only $555. So you could put $222 towards it and it would only cost $333. So this is very exciting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, we're do a second winner. And the second winner is going to win $555 in Alpha Femme money. So this is perfect for I Am the One. You could purchase it straight away, or you could buy 2 months in the movement and something else, or you could put it towards Resolution Revolution. Because if you purchase Resolution Revolution for 2,222, you receive I Am the One. There are options. All right. So Alpha Femme team, when you are ready, let me know who is our winner for the 555. Holly Liu, congratulations. You win $555 of Alpha Femme money. Money, 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 money. Ding, ding, ding. So happy for you. Okay, so I have a couple more things I want to share with you. And then we're going to do our last and final draw of the day at the end of this. So again, if you are watching and you have not shared yet, you can share this live stream and make sure you let me know in the comment section that you have shared so that my team can keep track. And at the end, we are going to have our final winner of the day. So here's the last piece of the puzzle I want to give you as our first live stream of 2026 kicks off our year. When you look at a year, it looks so big at the beginning. And it looks so big because there's so much ahead. And so I've contemplated this a lot and I've asked myself, why is it that years used to feel so long when I was a little kid? Like I think about how long it felt between Christmases when I was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, and it was like a whole lifetime. There was a whole lifetime between Halloween and Christmas. Like, why was it so long? And as much as there is this like emotional component to it, which is I was a lot more present. Little kids, you're just so aware, you make memories, you're so connected to your life. There's less stuff in your head that take you out of the game. You're not thinking about stuff instead of being in your life. You're totally in your life. Life is happening now. There's another piece of the puzzle. And the piece of the puzzle is that when you're 5 years old, 1 year is a fifth of your life. So the way you conceptualize time as a whole is different. Because 1 year, when you're 4 years old, 1 year is a fourth of your life. It's 25% of the time you have ever known. And if you consider that the first year of your life, you have no memory whatsoever, then it's a third of your life as a 4-year-old. You know what I mean? Like time is just, it's all I know. How could there be we don't realize we're looping. It's just the experience of a fourth of my life. So a fourth of my life when I'm 40 is 10 years. So 1 year is the equivalent of 10 years worth of experience. And so the beginning of the year feels slower sometimes. And it feels like there's so much possibility because we've only experienced, as of today, 4 out of 365 days, which I don't know if someone wants to do the math of this for me, but like, let me see if I can do it. 4 divided by 365 times 100. That's not right. See, no high school. 365 times 4? No. Someone do it for me. What's the percentage of 4 days out of 365 days? Kevin, do it for me. I'm curious what that percentage would be. If you've only lived 4 days out of 365, what percentage of the year have you lived? Because when you think about it, I have the concept of 2026, and I'm basing the entirety of 2026 from the tiniest little sample. It's just a tiny little piece. So 4 days out of 365 is what percentage of the year that I would have lived? 1%, basically? Yeah, that makes sense because 1 on 400 would have been 1%. So less than 1%. So less than 1% or more than 1%? A little more than 1%. So when I'm sampling 2026 right now and I'm basing it off of 1%, and I've had New Year's Day where I've had intentional time with my family, I've had the second where I've been able to relax, I've had the third where I've had another family party, family gathering, I've got the fourth where I'm doing my first live stream of the year and we're going to be organizing and planning and all the things for Resolution Revolution today. That's a pretty good sample. This year feels pretty limitless. This is like 1% of the year. Once we enter 2% of the year, so we'll have been in 2026 for like a week and a little bit. Well, 1 week has gone by. 1 week is also 1 out of 52 of the weeks that we have. All of a sudden, that starts like 1 week, we're used to 1 week going by. If you ever go on vacation for 7 days, like you know what a 7 week period of time feels like. Like we're looking at a week, we're looking at 1 out of 52 of the weeks of the year is already gone. So if you've had a really solid first week, if you started with New Year's Day and you had some family time and some rest time and some creation time, and then you said yes to Resolution Revolution, and then you started Resolution Revolution, you're a couple of modules in, you've already started building your year. By the end of 2% of your first week of the year, you're like, hey, 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 this is looking like a pretty freaking epic year. But now we keep going. The second week, now we're 2 weeks in. 2 out of 52 weeks. There's only 50 left now. Well, you've completed Resolution Revolution. You've got an entire plan for your year. You've gotten things done in real time in your life. You're on a roll with certain things that you wanted because you were in that vibe. You're 2 weeks in, but you feel like a little bit of a different person. You're feeling like 2026 is a different year. And there's a good reason for that is because all that you know of 2026 has been built in the God zone so far. And so because you bought Resolution Revolution before tomorrow at 5 p.m., you also got I Am the One. So a few days after Resolution Revolution starts, you're like, okay, let's go. I am the one. Now we start having these conversations that start putting you in this really empowered context in your life. And you watch memories occur in your life now. You're having like incredible memories with your kids or incredible memories with your partner. You're doing things in your business that are next level. You're showing up in your marketing and your social media, your branding, and your family in a different way. Now 1/12 of the year has passed. Now we're closer to like 10% of the year. But you had one full month and you've been super intentional about the whole thing. You've planned your year. You've already got memories in all these important areas that matter to you. You've got 1/12 of the year down, but it feels like 2026 is a whole other kind of year. Now you're on a roll. But how easy would it be to go through the first year or the first week of the year, and then the magic of the new year is over? You got to go back to work, kids go back to school, and it just starts to feel like December again. It's cold, it's snowy, or wherever you are in the world, it's sunny, it's summer. You, but it's like all of a sudden it's just another week. And now you forget that this is 2026 because you haven't built your year focused with the energy. This is a new year. You haven't built yourself thinking this is a 10th of 2026. You're now back in the whole floating in the ethers of your life. And now all of a sudden it's more like this is a 30th of your life. A year is a 30th of your life, and this is just a week of a 30th of your life, or a 40th of your life, or a 50th of your life. And so time's just flying now. It doesn't mean anything. You're not tethered to a new beginning. You're not at the beginning of something that's being redefined. You're just in the middle of something that's been, that will be, that is being. It just, everything is just part of itself, and weeks start flying. And next thing you know, January's over. And you're like, I've got to do something different. And then February's over. And I've got to do something different. And then March is over. And then you're like, you know what? I'll do it in 2027. And that's how fast it happens. What makes the opportunity is that at the beginning, we are working with a very small percentage of a new year, and we are shaping intentionally a new year in a way that makes this year feel different. There's a window of time to do that. And then the year starts to feel like every other year. And it happens to all of us. There just comes a time at some point in the year where it just feels like life. But if you have set yourself up powerfully at the beginning of the year, you're able to stretch that magic. When we get into February, you might be like, you know what? I want to do the Alpha Femme experience. And then we're going Femme Fatale. And then we're going God Zone. And then March is coming in. It's like Impact Academy. And then Art of Leadership and Exponential Wealth. And we're talking about things and you're planning it. It's like 2026 is intentional, and every little piece is a part of your year, and every little piece is affecting things. And you're saying 2026 has been epic. We're only in the month of March, and I've already done this and said this and had this, and this has happened, and I'm celebrating this, and I had this breakthrough, and I did made this move, and I have this memory, and we did this and we did this, and because of that. And we're 3 months in, and you're like, this is the best year of my life. And all of a sudden, March, April, and by the summer, you're 6 months in, you're like, this is the greatest year I've ever had. And that's the magic of being intentional with a year. And this is what I've really discovered is the secret sauce. You cannot just expect years to feel different when they're 1/50th of your life, 1/40th of your life. Years feel different when you isolate the year and you isolate the time within the year, because then you're working with very small percentages. You're working with a small percentage of a year instead of psh, just another year with another January, because those just loop and they all feel the same eventually. So, my invitation for you in your life is to try this on for 2026. We're on day 4 of 365. At this point, we're at the 1% mark of your year. We are brand new little baby chicken nuggets of the year. You have an opportunity to build a context for this year where you blow your mind every day. We're only 5 days in. You know, like when you go on a trip and it's a 10-day experience and you're on day 3 and you're like, we've only been here for 3 days. Feels like the check-in was so long ago. How do we have so many memories? And then the more you get into the trip, it's like, no, wait. And then on the last night, you're like, how has it already been a week? This is what happens with time. So the opportunity to stretch time, the opportunity to bend time, the opportunity to actually utilize time in a different frequency is how you start. And the opportunity to collapse time, to receive more than you ever thought possible, to create more than you ever thought possible, that occurs with the compound effect through time nearer to the finish line. So the idea is to use the beginning and the end in two different frequencies. This is an epic frequency. I have literally turned my whole life around using this way of seeing life, this way of living. And I'd love for you to get to experience this because I don't think there's anything greater on this planet. So that's the last piece I wanted to leave you with as our first live stream of 2026 comes to a close. I'm at 1% of my year. I'm so freaking satisfied. I have incredible pictures, memories, family moments, laughter, inside jokes. My first live stream of the year is done. My first animation of the year has been posted. My first program banner of the year has been posted. I have all these new things that are happening in my life. I'm on a roll. 2026 is looking golden. And we've only just started. It's only a few days, but I'm doing what I got to do in the God zone. This is the magic. All right. Alpha Fem team, when you're ready, we are going to have our last and final winner of the day. This is for $2,222 in Alpha Fem money. So you could just straight out purchase the movement and then you'd get a $1,111 credit. You could just straight out purchase Resolution Revolution. And then you get I am the one as a bonus. You'd be set up for a year with me in the movement. You'd be set up with me in Resolution Revolution and in I am the one. So you would have a full January secured in Alpha Fem Experience Energy because that's what Alpha Fem Experience is getting. And then maybe at the end of January, the magic hits and you end up making a move. You can use the entire amount of the movement to upgrade it into the AFE at any point during your year. You're in the God zone. This is the vibe. So Alpha Fem team, when you are ready, let's manifest someone for the $2,222 in Alpha Fem money. And our winner is drum roll. Our winner is refresh, refresh, refresh. Our winner is Siberia. Can you give me the link, the person again, Alpha Fem team? For some reason, it's not showing me. My Facebook is just overactive right now. Sophie Sibeni. Sophie. Okay, Sophie Sibeni, congratulations. You are the winner of $2,222 in Alpha Fem money. I am so excited for you. I am so excited for us. I am so excited for 2026. To everyone who has been here, either for the finish line, for here for the first live stream of this year. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so excited for what's coming. Actually, I'm going to give you a final piece of the puzzle. I'm going to give you an intentionality piece for me, because I think this is something I've been contemplating that I'm going to give you right off the hop. So, who here loves AI? Just out of curiosity, like you're really into the whole AI thing and you really enjoy it. And so if you love AI, say love AI. If you are not loving AI and you're scared of it, just be like, oh gosh, kind of scared of AI. If you're indifferent, you don't use it, just be like, don't really know anything about it. Just kind of let me know in the comment section. Um, so I have had my experiences with AI. Like I actually had a conversation with AI where I was kind of I wanted to try I wanted to try it. I didn't log in. There's something about logging into AI that's scary. I'm a little bit weird. Like I don't run ads. I'm weird. So I don't log in or anything, but I go in and I ask AI questions, and the answers feel like not good. And so I kind of prompt the AI to be like, don't you think this and don't you think that? And all of a sudden, AI is like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Thank you for giving me this. I'll update this in the way that I express this, and I'll update this in the way that I express that. So I'm like, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. When you say you're going to update in the way that you express this and you express that, what does that mean? And so AI explains to me that all input that makes basically sense is then upgrading AI in real time. So I said, okay, so ultimately I just coached you. So AI says to me, yeah, you did. And I'm really grateful because what you said, like I'm really grateful, but yes, you did. And it was brilliant because what you said, blah, 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 and explains to me why the thing I've just put in AI is now going to change the way that AI coaches everybody else. So I said, okay, is there a way for that when you teach people this, that there's going to be a, as Melanie and Lair taught me? And they're like, no. So I said, so wait. I just had a conversation with you where you gave me really crappy, inadequate things. I coached you. You are now going to upgrade your system and serve people differently because of the answers I gave you. And it will never exist that I'm the one that coached you in this. And AI says, no. And I said, that doesn't feel right at all. I understand that this doesn't feel right because of that. And it just justifies this whole thing. And it's like, this is how AI works. And I just started feeling to myself like, what if AI serves you things that you serve them better? Like I gave something to AI more than what it gave to me, and it totally put me off the whole thing. I was like, I'm protecting my assets at all cost because I feel like I would just put things into AI and I'm feeding AI. It's not feeding me, I'm feeding it. So I had a lot of like, Then I also had a lot of resistance to all of the photos that were coming that weren't real people. And I was like, but how do you know if someone actually went there? Like people posting pictures in front of the Eiffel Tower that have never been to Paris, people who posting pictures that have never been, they've never done these things. And I'm like, but how do we know what's real? I had a lot of like, not sure. But there's more transparency. Social media started enforcing that you have to say this was made with AI. I liked that. There was a lot, and then things started to change. I was like, okay. And it started made me realize anything I've just said to AI that I feel like I want to protect my intellectual property, then I need to just go post something on Substack and I need to go make it public information that this is something that I've just taught. Like I just need to it makes me want to protect my intellectual property at a higher level. So is it really bad, or is it just pointing me into realizing that like I haven't really been protecting my intellectual property in the best way? So that made me contemplate, okay, it makes me feel bad. It's not necessarily bad. It made me frustrated, but it also made me realize that I could be doing better here and there. Then it also made me realize like certain people don't like photo shoots or don't have access to photo shoots. They can make their pictures in AI. And if it's honest that it's made with AI, couldn't that be a beautiful thing? Is it considered art? I had someone make a beautiful AI picture of me and it was actually quite beautiful. And I posted that it was made with AI. I tagged who made it. Nobody said anything about it. I can tell it's not me, but it's a placeholder, you know, in a post. Like, is it a big bad deal? Well, if I were to completely eradicate my real presence and only use pictures like that, I think that would be a shame. And I think it would be sad if my existence weren't real. So what I've considered for 2026 is like, what do I want to do with this? Because AI is getting more and more important and more people are using it and coaches that are using AI to coach their clients. Whereas like I've got years and years and years of real lived experience and I'm like, well, people still value learning this craft or would they rather just AI it? And I'm like, well, it depends who. Some people will just AI it, but there'll be different people. There'll be people that still want to learn it the way that I do it. And then, what about posts? Like if everyone's AI pictures now look like magazine covers, like what does my photography matter anymore? But it's like, but I can tell the difference. So some people will still be able to tell the difference. And so what if there's more of an integrated way? But the number one thing that I've realized that's not all that perfect yet is the speaking. So I've seen AI characters that are apparently fully AI and they speak, and you can't really tell that much that they're AI, but they are programmed, they don't exist. I've never seen a person that's a real person that's been made into AI that's speaking that I can't tell. I can always tell. And so I'm open to playing with AI. I'm open to not being so afraid of it as long as I also amplify my real self. And so what I really want this year is to be in the creation mode and to really be as connected and as real as possible in as many different ways as possible. So a lot more connection with you guys, a lot more live streams, a lot more like things you can't just fake. You can't just make. And so if I've got a new live stream every month or one or two live streams a month that you can watch that are really me. And I've got 17 pictures of me and two AI pictures. The AI isn't scary. But if I never show up live and all the pictures on my timeline are all AI, then I do have fear of erasure. I have fear of no more intentionality. I have fear of people not feeling alive. Like I have that fear because such a big part of my life is helping people feel their aliveness, to anchor in moments and memories, to be the art that they are. So I'm open. I'm open because I'm hearing more and more people raving about AI, and I don't want to just fear it. I want to be open to it. But I think what's going to help me the most in being open to these things is really owning my realness as much as possible. So there's going to be a lot more live streams from me on my personal page. There's going to be more opportunities to really hear about my stories and my life in real time. I'll be sharing a lot more to counteract a lot of that, like abracadabra, poof, here's an image, abracadabra, poof, here's a thing on the internet, here's a post, here's a thing. Like, I will be counteracting a lot of that. And that's my intention for 2026 is to be in that human creation so that instead of fearing AI, I'm just counteracting it. Like there's that and there's this. And there is absolutely no fear that one could replace the other because with real human creation like this, it's either an ally or it doesn't matter because I'm amplifying the human connection and AI becomes, if anything, a support system. So I also want to invite you, if you've been kind of weary about AI this year, to just amplify your soul creation, to do the things that can't be copied, to tell us your stories of your life, to live fully and embrace the truth of your life. And if you feel curious about AI, then you can sprinkle it in, but just don't lose the truth in all of that. You know, it's good to learn new things, and there's always going to be something powerful in everything that we do, but let it be an ally, not a crutch, and definitely not a facade. So that ends our first live stream of the year. Thank you all so much for your presence. I appreciate you more than you know. If you're not following me on social media, follow my Facebook account so that whenever I do go live, you get notified. I write posts that are masterclasses within themselves. If you don't follow me on Substack, follow me on Substack. If you are not connected to me on Instagram, I'm Melanie Ann Layer or Alpha Femme on Instagram. You can connect with me there. And I do also have another part of a masterclass coming. If you scroll down my timeline, you'll find Mission to Millions. Register for that. There's another 3 days, the last final 3 days of a free masterclass mid-January. So many things are coming. But when we walk together, our lives are ours to create. Every day is an opportunity for a memory. Every day is an opportunity for an elevated way of doing things. Not because we're not good enough, because we're the one. Like I'm the one that gets to choose. I'm the one that's intentional. I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm the one that does it, or I'm the one that doesn't. I've had the most incredible holiday season, but the intentionality, the little moments, sitting with my goddaughter and making easy bake pink cakes with little hearts on them and making fresh squeezed orange juice with them and making magic and imagination and like there was time for all those things because they only take a few moments, but it takes presence and it takes peace of mind to have your imagination run wild for the right things. I want to open your imagination for the right reasons. I want to open your capacity. I want to help you expand your patience and your presence. I want to help you be in your life so you can be in love with your life, so that you create your business, your relationships, your goals, your dreams, your vision inside of your bliss, inside of your joy, so that you can feel satisfaction, pleasure in your success. It's not just about checking the boxes. It's about the checking of the boxes being an experience within itself. And that's my invitation for you in 2026. Whether you come big with me into House of Oat, whether you move into the Alpha Femme experience, whether you just jump into the movement and get started with me, whether I see you in Resolution Revolution or I am the one, start shaping 2026. There's nothing like it. Thank you for your time, your energy, your attention. It means the world to me. and I will see you on the internet. Happy New Year.